and restream. Got to load it all up in Facebook.
We're live now, though, right?
About to be.
Oh, about to be. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill. I didn't know if that look was prompting me for a morning, Bill, or if it was frustration of Facebook or tech.
The second one.
The second one? Okay, cool.
It was,
cool.
It was tech. That was a tech face.
The prized tech is frustrating me face. So what's going on, Bill? I'm good, man. I woke up early again. I've been writing for about the past hour or so.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I had an idea for a blog post, which is kind of coming from some of the stuff we've been talking about. But essentially, you can prioritize for one thing, essentially, right? And there's lots of different ways of building a business. There's lots of different ways of thinking about politics and everything else like this. But essentially, it comes down to what are you trying to optimize for? And, you know, this is going to be a big, long blog post, but, you know, from a business perspective, this is super powerful. From a sales and marketing perspective, this is super powerful because you could be optimizing for not trying to have a sales conversation. Okay, that's totally fine. But when you're optimizing for that, you're going to run into a ceiling, right, of what you can charge people because they need to be able to talk to someone so that way they can have some trust. Now, that's, you know, you can go the other way as well, right? You can optimize for not having the spend, the know-how, the knowledge to build out a marketing funnel and doing all these things as well, which means you're going to be more of a salesperson. There's not a right or a wrong, right? And what's really interesting is when you can use this inside your selling conversations as well, because everybody's prioritizing for something when they're looking to go buy something, right? And the really interesting thing is that optimization is the same thing as a priority, right? So when you're talking to someone and, you know, it sounds like the wish list is very long and you're talking about money and the money doesn't line up with what they talked about on the wish list, what are we trying to optimize for? We're trying to optimize for the wish list, or we're trying to optimize for the budget we're talking about right here? Because I can go either way, but I'm not sure that I can do both.
That's the age old. I always forget the three, right?
Speed,
you can have speed, quality,
and money.
Speed, quality, money. Pick two. Typically, you can pick two.
Yeah, absolutely, right? If the timeline is super short, are we trying to hit the timeline, even if that makes us go over budget, or are we more focused on the budget, right? And the really cool thing is that it makes the whole conversation very collaborative, right? Because you're in the middle of that with them, trying to figure out what the best option is, right? And it's viewed when you do it well as very collaborative and not challenging. So, whole blog post coming out about this, but you know, this, so I've been writing that. I've been working on the course material a little bit. I actually went through and made it a little bit easier to tell what I had done and what I had not done because I realized that was kind of frustrating me.
Okay.
And dude, the course is almost done. The course is like almost done, which is like super legit and
exciting. That's what that is.
Well, yeah, I didn't actually really think it was going to happen on some level.
Well, it helps when you got Bill over here doing this to you, right? Like,
hold on. Do it again. Sorry.
Bill over here doing one of these to you.
Yes. Guillotines are brutal, but I've got the two outside sessions with the other experts. I have a section there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 sections left. So
nice.
Yeah, nice. I'm pretty excited. This thing is huge, like pretty significantly big, bigger than I thought it was going to be. So it'll be curious.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I've written 6 sections. I've written 6 sections so far.
Okay. So over halfway.
Halfway.
It's on its way. So hi, Michelle. Hi, Levi. Hi, Gabriel.
Our people are here. What's going on?
People are here. Mike normally shows up halfway through.
Peroni? Yeah.
No, Tao.
Oh, Tao. Yeah, that's true. I talked with Michael Peroni for a good while yesterday.
Cool.
But hold on. What got in? Oh, how'd your big three go yesterday, Bill? I'm trying so hard to
I
stick
saw what you did there. You're like, wait. Okay, so don't telegraph so much.
Hey, it's the first day of
I'm
new
messing with you.
format.
I'm messing
Yeah,
with you.
it's
How'd
all
my big
good.
three go? My big three was pretty good yesterday. I did it. So that's number one, right? I
Yeah.
did my big three. I had some good conversations in my group yesterday about measurement. It's so funny how programmed we are to measure outcomes. We just can't help ourselves. And we did, let's see, so we put up our monthly goals in the group, and we had a call, and we talked about leading indicators and proper measurement and things like that. And then half the people in the group still put up, I want 3 new clients this month. It's like, okay, so we're gonna go through this again.
Well, and I think that that's important, right? Because I used to feel like if you could KPI well, you were going to be successful in any role, right? And that the results of it were largely inarguable. But I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of people who do not buy into this whole thing, right? They're results-oriented thinkers only, and I agree that it takes some time and some reps, right, of being able to do this well. But like at the end of the day, as a business owner, like you're looking to hit a goal, right? So having that
Sure.
that I need 3 clients as like the end goal, totally solid, right?
Right.
But what you need to do is you need to make sure, like, how many people do I need to ask to get 3 yeses? That's the thing. So
that's the part I find a lot of people don't know the answer to. It's
most
that
people
connector.
don't know.
Yeah. So when I asked them nicely, remember when we talked about your outcomes are great. This is obviously what's going to make you hit your bottom line this month. But what are the activities you do to get those 3?
Yes.
Just blank stares.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Well, now we know what we need to work on then.
Yeah, now we know exactly where to start, right? Like, and the thing about it is that it's right now it's hard to maintain your KPI cadences because like a lot of these conversations get a little bit blurry because depending upon the realm that you're in and who your prospects are and how you communicate with them, you could be having lots of conversations with prospects, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be checking your box that says I'm talking to new decision makers, right? Is it a new decision maker? Are they in your target market? Do they have problems you can solve? And do you have a solution to fix those problems in that's somewhat relatable with how their view of it is? Because you and I talk about this all the time in the obviously awesome book is reconfirming this, right? If you're in marketing and let's say that you're an SEO content person and someone shows up and they're talking about ads and programmatic and paid media and like the light switch and all of this stuff, and you still get them somehow convinced to abandon that ship and to do SEO or a content play, you're going to have let me put it this way. You deserve every uncomfortable conversation you're going to have with that client.
After that, yep. Yeah, exactly.
And each month you don't show up with what their expectation is, you're going to have an uncomfortable conversation, especially if you don't have a conversation about what the mutually agreed upon deliverables are and what to expect and things like this. So
one of the things I love about the Obviously Awesome book is the way that they talk about competition.
Yes.
And so they say most people measure based on a competitor. And it's like, but what if your competitors suck too, right? So what you need to be asked people are, what would you do if we didn't exist? Like, how would you solve this problem? And what's funny is as I actually went and did a little thought, project and asked it a few people, was like, hey, and I didn't talk about me. I just went out and asked a few people about something that they did on a day-to-day basis. Like, hey, what would you do if you couldn't lift weights? Like, how would you exercise? And instead of saying, oh, well, I would do these weights, the point was I got a lot of different answers than I would have expected. Mm-hmm. Even I had zero stake in the question. Like I just asked neutral questions. And even so, I was still surprised that people's alternatives are typically different, at least a different nuance than even if you know the thing, the nuance is different.
Well, and that's really important because in my mind, if you're talking to me, then you've already made a decision that Salesforce isn't a good fit for you and you don't want to go with HubSpot or Zoho, right? Mm-hmm. And like, that's just blatantly telling myself, yeah, it's so assumptive. It's setting myself up for failure because like I still talk to so many people and they haven't heard of any of these tools. Like they don't
Right.
know what a single one of these things does. And so like what I should be thinking about is like, okay, you're managing this, you're writing tick marks on a piece of paper, right? You have a
Yes.
spreadsheet that you're not updating. You're managing this out of your email inbox without any resolution about when you're supposed to be following up and touching base and everything else like this.
Yep. Yep.
Like that's the kind of content we should be writing, and not you're an extremely high level like CSO or something else like something else like this, and you're looking for the best CRM. Like you're not even using a CRM in most cases. Like that's the market I'm looking or should be looking to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the point for me was just a reminder is ask, even if you think you know,
Absolutely.
ask. And like you actually hit on this probably on purpose, but not, you don't point it out when you do it all the time, but it's like you are consistently resetting expectations, even like on a sales conversation. When you start framing a sales conversation, you're always asking the assumptive question first so that you know you're in the right spot. You know what I mean? Like, so like, instead of assuming, well, instead of assuming, you know, the answer to a question when you start a sales conversation, because like, you ask the question to go, would it be safe to say that this, and this? Yeah. Okay, great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The really important thing there is that when we can get the prospect to confirm the assumption that we have in our head, right? So standard example, and one of my favorite examples, Jeff and I were talking to this local nonprofit called Lighthouse for the Blind about redoing their website. We're in there and we're talking to them, and Jeff's leading the way, and I'm taking notes. This is pretty early on, and their major pain point was they wanted a website that made it easy to get all of their e-commerce products onto the website, so that way the sales people on their team would have an easier time. Mm-hmm. So we're talking through this and we're trying to understand, and Jeff's like, okay, like help me out. Like, what do you think you should be generating through your e-commerce sales for the website? She goes, probably about 12. And Jeff is like, 1,200? 12 what? You know? And she goes, no, about 12 grand. And he goes, okay, about 12 grand a year. And she goes, no, 12 grand a week. And he stops and he goes, because we're supposed to ask this question next, right? And so I love this story because he is so flustered, right? And Jeff never really gets flustered, right? He's the most laid back dude on the planet. I've only seen him angry once. I've only heard about him being angry one other time, right? I mean, it's legendary. And he goes, is that a lot? In his high voice, right? And like, I love it so much because like he had done the practice so much that he knew to ask that question, even though his tone betrayed him in the moment. But the prospect had no idea. She was like, well, yeah, it's a significant impact to our revenue, which then means that Jeff doesn't have to like show them, hey, this 12,000 per week is a huge part of your revenue, because she already said it, right? And that's where this stuff becomes really important, because Chris Voss says this in his book, and probably the best way that I've ever seen it is that when we can make the prospect say something, we no longer have to prove it ourselves, right? You said you needed this. I didn't say you needed this more than sliced bread. You told me a minute ago that you had all these issues and that you thought that digital marketing or sales process would be the answer. I'm curious, has that changed? Well, no. Okay, great, right? As opposed to, let me show you why my digital marketing is the best thing since sliced bread, and you need it right now, and I'm cheaper than everybody else, and we've been around since 1875.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And this is, to me, and you and I, this was our original idea for having a podcast together years and years ago, sales and marketing talking.
Yeah.
If you have good salespeople who know these things, ask these questions, and you're a marketer and you're not talking to your salespeople, you are literally giving away the best stuff for your marketing. Absolutely. It's sitting in the next room on a notepad with your salesperson, and it's the best stuff you could be putting in your content.
You know, and what's crazy is I know that every company is like trying to be really big about user research and let's send out a survey and let's get feedback from our team and stuff like that. Your salespeople are having those conversations all day, every day with the people that you're talking to, right? Yeah. So you can get that feedback if you make it part of the sales process. What happens is that most people don't build out a sales process that's more front loaded. So they're left pitching and then chasing and never really getting any resolution that the marketing team can then use to just know what to improve, right? I mean, if you have a multi-step funnel and you want to improve it, like, okay, how do we improve this thing? Well, your salespeople are talking to people all day long that are not qualified, right? In some way, shape, or form. Go talk to them, figure out what kind of walls they're running up against that disqualify the prospects, and figure out how to qualify around those things. You have endless marketing refinement potential right there, because your salespeople are the end result, right? They're getting the feedback from their clients if they're doing it right, right? This might not be a fit for you. If it's not, could you let me know why at the end of this thing? Like, could you let me know what the deal killer was? Yeah. And at the end of it, you get a deal killer. You go take that to the marketing team. Hey, we keep talking to people who are not qualified because they always fall into this bucket. Can we build out a drip email or something like this so that way those people that are in that bucket don't hit my scheduler?
Yep.
And then you've got this endlessly refinable process, as long as you can build your sales process out in a way that collects that information on the front end. And then you don't have to deal with surveys that most people don't want to fill out, trying to incentivize them in some sort of give back, giveaway, or something else like this, which is what most people do to get clients to actually fill out surveys. Just have your salespeople like ask and build your sales process in a way so that way they can ask at the end of it.
Right.
Whew.
Yeah. I actually was looking at a piece of software for gifting people after podcast episodes, because I was like, it'd be cool to send a little gift to someone for episodes. And I found, let's see, it's called Alice. Maybe you told me about it. So anyway, it's ALY instead of Alice, but it's for massively huge enterprise companies, right? It wasn't super clear on their website, clear enough probably, but not like super clear, right? They didn't say we don't work with small businesses. They said the word enterprise. And so I reached out for a demo. I should have been clued in because there was no pricing anywhere. It was just quest demo. Okay, expensive. I get it. I did it anyway. I wanted to know. And so I got an email back, but here's what I love that they did. They sent the email they sent me to request a demo, because they had me put in my name, my email address, my URL, or whatever it was. It was a little bit longer form. But the email they sent back was an auto-generated one that said, hey, just because we want to make sure we're serving everybody, here's the type of people we're looking to serve. People with thousands of employees and massively huge blah, 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 blah. And it was very nice. It was like, hey, we love to serve everyone. We hopefully we can serve everyone. But just so you know, this is who we're after, and we can help these people the very best. Are you this person? Yes or no? And it had links in the email. The yes went to book an appointment. The no went to a fun little like 404 style page of like, yep, sorry we can't help you today, but and they even ask you to do something. Would you go check out our so-and-so or something? So that's only something that can be done once things have been refined. And it was a great experience for me. Like I had fun. Like it was nice, So I got to think of them fondly.
Yeah, rejection doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. You can have fun with it. There's all kinds of ways, but when you're not thinking in like a linear binary format of either yes or no, then what happens is you're putting pressure on your sales team to go out and be likable, right? Which is leading them to try to be influential, right? And that leads to prompting and selling badly and all the things that everybody hates about salespeople, right? Because it's just like, oh, just give this a look, right? Because I can't deal with it if you tell me no right now. I'm going to go cry in the corner. So just look at it and let me follow up with you. How's a couple of weeks? The murkiness in that whole conversation is so over the top, as opposed to, Bill, I'll send this over tomorrow. I'd like to send it over with you like on the phone, because inevitably you might have some questions and I want to make sure that you can answer them, so that way we can figure out if this is a fit for you or not. If it's not a fit, totally fine. Totally okay with that. Can you let me know why at the end of it? Right? No big deal.
Totally.
What's your big three today, Bill?
So my big three today is I've got asks to do. Let's square in. I'm working on some quality today, so I'm going to be testing some different ways to ask. So that's my number one. I'm going to be working on a page for the website. This one, for the BIL page. I've got an idea that for a weekly that I actually haven't even run past you yet, but it seems pretty cool. So I'm going to see what you think once I get something together here. And then I've got videos I'm shooting for Cork today. So I'm touching all the corners today.
All the corners. Nice.
Yep.
I have a call with a team to hopefully take over my Go high level stuff, so that way I can just put them into my ticketing system, which would be
Yeah,
huge.
that would be.
And that way we can also start working on like coordinated like build outs for the real estate market that I think we're going to be like really, really focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that way it'd be really cool to go up to real estate people and be like, look, you get your website, you get some funnels, and you get some automations, right? So like before you call someone, a text goes out 5 minutes before, hey, this is, and little things like that to make the whole process easier and automate it. So I have a conversation, actually 2 conversations today about potential people to come in and handle that for me, which would be really huge because there's so much in Go high level. And you and I were talking about this yesterday. It is a bear, right, of a tool. And I'm a pretty, I feel like, tech savvy dude.
Yeah.
There's some nuance in here that is just a lot to deal with, right? And it's not the best use of my time. I love it for like the sales side of it, and I love it for like the process stuff, but you can build websites and funnels in this thing. That's not my skill set, but having people who can do that and just a pair of hands, because if you're not really, really good at something, guys, and I think this is important to talk about real quick, you can, right? I can figure all of this stuff out and Go high level, right? I can figure it out. I can document it. I can build Loom videos and all of these things. Or I can just go find a team to be the hands, right? I don't need them to be like the strategy and the mind of it, because that's kind of what people pay me for, but like the hands of it. Because if I can say, I need you to do these 15 bullet points for this new client setup, and they can just knock all that stuff out because they're in there all day, every day, that's going to be way better for everybody involved. So that's important to think about. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should be doing something. Arguably, there's somebody who could do it better and faster and probably at a lower rate, right? Like I'm talking to people from the Philippines that are going to be, $3, $4, $5 to, $8 or $9 per hour. And, I'm sure that some people are seeing this and they're like, ugh, but that's life-changing money to those people over there. It's not about, gouging anybody or anything else. Like if you pay someone in the Philippines $7 to like $8 an hour, like they can take care of like their whole extended family, right?
Yeah, my mom has a whole VA team over there, and they pay them like $9, like way, way above what everybody else is, whatever. But it's literally just saving them $5 to $7 an hour by using them. And these people are so loyal to them. It's been 2.5 years with them now, and they bonus them at Christmas and everything, just like a regular employee.
And
but it's a lot changing.
There's a small difference in the Filipino calendar that I remember hearing about this once. That if you can figure out like the differences in theirs and ours, and can kind of adjust your pay schedule and your like bonuses and stuff like this around their thing, it can become really, really, really solid for very long periods of time. These people don't want to go be entrepreneurs. They're not going to go work for somebody else or anything else like this. They just want the time filled, right? And the income from it.
Yeah.
So
it's been fantastic. Cool. So your big 3 was what?
My big 3. I've got two to three. I have one call, but probably 2 chats with different contractors for the Go high level stuff.
Okay.
I have a call with a client, talk about some sales stuff. And then I've got a call with Levi again later on this afternoon. And he's had 2 calls. He's on a second call right now. So we had a call yesterday, and he was like, man, this is so much easier than I thought it was going to be. Like they just kind of opened up, and I'm like, yeah, that'll happen when you do it right. Good job. And he's still super excited and stoked and loves the system and go high level and everything else like this. So yeah,
once it gets set up, boom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So that's exciting. We're gonna have a session today, session with that, and then I've got some big blocks. So I'm going to try to get all my writing for my BIL bet done this week, which would be huge.
Right. You said 3, right?
3. 3 sections.
Okay. Yeah. So that was you 2 for next week, right?
Yeah, because
you get down to 3.
I've got 6 left.
I 6, my bad. I was thinking you had 5. I thought you did 6 and you had 5, but
2 of them are going to be essentially just kind of like Zoom videos, right? Because like I'll pull out the bullet points; those will be really easy. But as far as like writing them on my own, I have sales mindset, the big 7, framing, KPIs and consistency, and then looking for closer opportunities. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh God, it just feels like it's like never going to end.
No. Day at a time, my friend. Day at a time.
Day at a time. That's how you eat
Just
that
write
elephant.
some today.
Right.
Yep.
Write some today. Awesome, man.
Oh,
Anything
cool.
else before we go?
That's it for today.
All
I
right,
think we're
Bill.
good. Yeah, good to go.
All right, man. I'm going to let you go. I will see you in